Hello, good afternoon. Let's wrap up lecture 10 today. It shouldn't take too long. We're just going to be taking notes primarily for today's class. So please take out a piece of paper and you want to do this sideways, okay? So like that. And we're going to start in the middle and then we're going to do like a flow chart that shows you the different kinds of tissues there are. So here we go. Let's start with the middle right here. And we're going to say tissue right here. Remember, tissue is just one level up higher than cells. Different kinds of cells can come together to form different types of tissues. And we already learned one type of tissue on Monday, and that is epithelial tissue. So let's write that down here. Epithelial tissue. Someone is asking me to review the last question of self quiz 9. I don't have it with me. Maybe I'll take a look later. Okay. So this is also called epithelium. There you go. And we can classify the epithelial tissue based on the number of layers it has. So, for example, we can have simple. Simple means one layer. We learned this already, okay? I'm just putting it in a chart for you so that it looks better and organize it a little bit better for you. And what's the word for multiple layers? Does anybody remember? Yep, stratify is right. And if you don't remember, that's understandable. You're probably busy studying for today's quiz. Stratified. So that's two or more layers. Now for simple layers, one layer, we have different examples. Okay. We have simple squamous. Okay, simple squamous. And now you cannot do this next part because you're drawing the notes. But I'm just gonna be putting pictures from the PowerPoint slides and put it here. Hold on, my mouse is acting all weird. Let me just restart the program, see if it's gonna be a little bit better. Give me a moment. There we go. It should work now. So there is the simple squamous. Okay, and simple squamous is one layer of these flat cells. And what do we use them for? It is ideal for diffusion. Okay, diffusion. So like in the lungs, for example. We can have one layer of square cube looking cells. We call them cuboidal. boy though. Okay. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Cuboid though. Okay. So they're more instead of flat like that, they're more little cube shape with the nucleus in the middle. And I'm just gonna copy the picture again from the PowerPoint slide. And they look like that. And you will find them around ducts uh, to help with secretion and absorption. And then we also have the last kind, which is columna. And there are different kinds of columna, if you remember. Okay, we have like the regular kind, which looks like this. And that's the regular stuff. And they are also around ducts and tubes, and airways, that kind of stuff. So they are good for secretion again, absorption. And since they are bigger, they also offer a little bit of protection. Okay. And there are other kinds of columna. We have this type, okay, with the little hair all over the place. These are called, if you remember, pseudostratify, ciliated columna. Okay, they appear to be multiple layers, but it's actually a single layer. They have cilia, all these little hair brush stuff. That's the cilia columna. They are found in airways. Okay, which helps remove debris from airway. And I don't have a picture for the other kind, but they are columna with microvilli. Okay, so it's these rectangular looking cell, and then their cell membrane kind of fold up here to increase the surface area. These foldings are called microvilli, and they are best, again, for secretion and absorption in intestines. Okay, so that's that. Now over here, we have the stratified, and there are only one type of stratified epithelium, which is the stratified squamous. Okay, multiple layers of flat cells. And if you look at them from the side, they kind of look like this. It's all stacked, one layer, two layers upon layers. And their job is to offer protection against wear and tear abrasion, friction, and you'll find them in esophagus, inside the mouth, under your feet. Okay. So that is everything we've learned last class. That's one type of tissue, epithelial tissue. All right. I'm going to show you the other ones now. And if you have the PowerPoint slides, you can follow along, but I'm just going to put everything into the chart here um, to make it easier for you to see what the categories are. Uh, and if you don't have the pictures, that's okay. I will pose it. It's all in the PowerPoint anyways. So the next type of tissue, okay, first kind is epithelial tissue. It's either covering the surface of organs or inside organs. This one is called connective tissue. Connective tissue. As the name implies, you know what? I probably should briefly write the description here. Epithelial tissue, they cover exposed surfaces and line covers lines inside of hollow structures, right? Like the inside of a blood vessels, the inside of the heart, inside of a duct, you will find epithelial tissue. Whereas connective tissue, I mean, the name tells you it's there for connection. So they bind things together. Okay? And sometimes they are used as fillers. Okay, fill up space between structures. Okay? Between organs, between structures. There you go. Oops. Now there are two types of connective tissues. We have over here soft connective tissue. Soft connective tissue. You might think the other one is called hard, but it's not. It's called specialized connective tissue. Here. So, what's soft connective tissue? Well, under soft connective tissue, we have more categories, subcategories. It will make more sense once I give you examples, okay? So this one is called loose connective tissue. And this one is primarily fillers between organs. Kind of like you have some space between the heart and the lungs. Let's put some loose connective tissue in there. And I'm gonna bring a picture over to show you what it looks like. There you go. It's too big. Let me just scale it down a little bit. And you can see where it gets its name from. Oh boy. There we go. You can see why it's called loose connective tissue because it's not really compact. It seems that there are a lot of space in there. Right? We have all these extracellular fibers. You have some cells there. They are like the packing peanut that you have if you want to protect your electronics or something, okay? Like the bubble wraps almost. Okay? They fill up the space between organs. So that's loose connective tissue. Now the other kind, the opposite word of loose, is dense, dense connective. Okay, tissue, right? Dense connective. And I'm really sorry. There's so many different types. Again, big picture is what you need to understand. You don't have to necessarily memorize this whole flow chart. I just understand key concepts. So the dense connective tissue, we have dense regular, and dense irregular. Now let me show you a picture of what they look like, and maybe you will understand why they are called what they are called. Okay, this guy is dense irregular. It's irregular because like the pattern is there's no pattern. It's randomly organized. Whereas over here we have dense regular. Dense regular right here. So you can see the fibers are parallel to each other. This one is not parallel to each other. Because it's parallel to each other, the fibers, this one is stronger. Stronger. And where do you find it? You would find them in tendons and ligaments. Now, in case you don't know the difference, tendon is connecting muscle to bone, and ligaments connects bone to bone. You need to tape bones together, such as like at the wrist here, and the muscle needs to attach to the bone as well. And so it needs strong, dense, regular fiber. It's dense because there's not a lot of empty spaces here, like you can see in the loose connective. There's no empty space, and it's regular because it's all parallel to each other. Whereas the dense irregular, they are not for strength, um, but it's good for again being fillers. And this one is commonly found under the skin, under the skin, and in some hollow organs. A lot of organs are hollow, right? Like your heart has hollow space. I'm not saying they have dense irregular, but like I'm just giving examples of hollow organs. Stomach is hollow. Okay. So like if you pinch your skin and then you rub it between your fingers, the thing you're feeling between the fingers, that's the dense irregular. Okay. So soft connective tissue, we have loose and we have dense, and then we have all these stuff. What about specialized connective tissue? Okay, so specialized connective tissue, we have a bunch as well. I'm going to start with cartilage right here. Okay, where do you find cartilage in the body? Does anybody have some examples for me? Where do you find cartilage? Yep, ear, nose, excellent, excellent. So these are the different kinds of cartilage. You don't have to memorize them, okay? I am just showing you, okay? Don't worry. I can feel you shaking your head over the screen. So here we'll find cartilage in like the trachea. We'll find them in the ear, and we'll find them in between our backbones. We call them intervertebral discs. Okay? And each of these have different names. Okay, so this one is like, it's called haline cartilage. This one is called elastic cartilage, and this one is called fibrous. Okay? Again, don't worry about the names. Just know that cartilage is a type of specialized connective tissues, and they look like this. Another kind of specialized connective tissue is bones. Okay, bones. That's what bones look like under the microscope. All right, we'll study more about bones next semester. Looks like tree rings. Okay, so cartilage offers some flexibility. Bones primarily provide support and allow for movement when the muscle pulls on them. Okay, another one is blood. Blood. Um, Here is blood. Do I have a picture of blood? I do. There's blood. Okay, the red ones are the red cells. These are RBC, red blood cells. They are for O2 and CO2 transport. It moves oxygen and carbon dioxide around the body. These purple ones, they're not really purple in real life. All these cells are actually transparent, but they stain them. These are white blood cells for immune defense. Right? If you get sick, and you want to fight it off, your body relies on these white blood cells to do it. And you might notice, if I zoom in, there are these little bits and pieces of purple bits. They are platelets. Okay, platelets is for blood clot. If you have a cut and you need to stop the bleeding, the platelets will help you do so. So there you go. Oops, sorry. Where am I? All right. So specialized connective tissue, we have cartilage, bones, blood, and one more type, which is called adipose tissue. Adipose, which is fat. Okay. Um, do I have a picture of it right here? So they don't look like much under the microscope. They just look like a bunch of nets. There you go. Okay. All these empty space, that's where the fats are stored. And all these empty space inside the cell. So on the test, you will have pictures like these, and then you will have to figure out which one is which. So let's start with some easy ones, maybe. On the top right here, does anybody recognize what this might be?
Bone.
Yep, that is absolutely bone right there. Anything else anyone recognize? Just show them out.
Blood.
Which one?
Below the bone.
That's right. There is the blood. Very good. Okay.
Left side fat.
Which one is the fat?
Left.
One,
Left to
two,
the
three,
bone.
four. Huh?
Left to the bone.
Oh, left to the bone. Yeah, number two. Okay, there. That's the fat. Fat is adipose. Over here, loose connective. Someone said. Very good. I'm sorry. There is no good color that will show up.
Left corner below. Yeah.
Okay, over here, left to the blood is the cartilage. And maybe this one is a little bit tougher. Anybody want to try?
Tendon or ligament.
Yeah, it could be tendon or ligament, which belongs to dens regular. Okay, dens regular. Okay, that's all. Okay, what else do we have? Take a closer look. All right, so we did two types of tissues already. Epithelial tissue, connective tissue, and then we have two more, and then we're done. This next one is uh, nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. Okay, so the purpose of nervous tissue is to transmit signals, right? Interpret. Oops, that's not how you spell interpret. Interpret signals. And sorry, can't spell today. Interpret signals. No, I spell interrupt again. Interpret. P-R-E-T. No, 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 no. There we go. Interpret signal. Sorry. And also to uh, uh, initiate response. Right? So like you receive some signals, you have to interpret what it is, what it means, and then you have to trigger the appropriate response. That still looks wrong. T-E-R-T, there we go. So sorry. Just had a
Yeah. Now.
brain lapse there. It just wouldn't come out. There we go. So there are actually
I
three.
was looking, but I didn't. I think you are confused.
Yeah, no, yeah, sometimes like
Yeah.
that happens when it's not the first language. Thank you for your patience. So there are three kinds of nervous tissues. Okay, three kinds. Um, we have sensory neurons. Sensory neurons. We have interneurons, and then we have motor neurons. And actually, we have a fourth type, which is called glial cells. Glial cells. Okay, so sensory neurons, they detect changes. So, if there's change in light intensity, if there's change in pressure on the skin, if there's change in temperature, right? All these things are going to be detected by sensory neuron. And then it's going to like take the information to your brain or spinal cord, where the interneuron is going to process process the information. Okay, process it, interpret it. And then the motor neuron is going to uh, trigger a response. And we'll learn this in like much greater detail next semester. In fact, we have 2 lectures on the nervous system alone. Okay, so that's like, 4 classes, 2 weeks in total. And glial cells, they support and protect neurons. Okay, so these neurons, they don't come back if you just if they're damaged. So the glial cells will protect them, nourish them, support them, and keep them safe. And finally, the last kind of tissue is muscle. Muscle. We also will spend a whole lecture on muscle. But there are 3 kinds of muscles that I want to show you from the PowerPoint slides. Let me just copy it over. The first one, here we'll do it like this. The first one is called skeletal muscle. And skeletal muscle are all the voluntary muscle. All voluntary muscle. Okay. You can control it, and there are these banding patterns. Okay, so we call it striated. Striated appearance. Okay. There are bands if you look at it under the microscope. Does anybody know any muscle names by any chance? I think we talked about a few last time, right? When we learned the anatomical terms and stuff like that.
Biceps, triceps.
Yeah, exactly. Biceps and triceps. Okay. So these are the ones that you can control. So example, biceps, triceps. There are many others. If you know it, right, you can write your own examples. Your deltoid, right? So on and so forth. And the other type is cardiac muscle, which is it looks like this. So you can see it is also striated, but it is involuntary. You will only find it in the heart. That's why it's called cardiac muscle. Okay. So both are striated, but one is voluntary, the other is involuntary. And we're gonna have the last one right here, which is like that. And if I make it bigger, you can see there are no bands, right? You don't see the bands. So this is non-striated, and it's also involuntary. We call these smooth muscle. Smooth muscle. Example would be like your GI tract, right? Food goes through your GI tract without you voluntarily telling it to do so. Right? The muscle is going to squeeze. Right? Same thing, you have muscles around your blood vessels that makes them bigger and smaller if your blood pressure is too high or too low. Okay. And that is it. That's all the different kinds of tissues. Right? Again, don't get bogged down by the details. If you understand the big pictures, if you recognize some of these things, you should be all right. There's not going to be a lot of these questions on the final test. Okay, now someone was asking me earlier about the self quiz. Let me take a look at the self quiz. Um, for number 9, right? You were saying right here. This one. I don't know if your question 9 is same as my question 9. Um, which one is it? Is it this one? Who asked me this question? I don't remember. Let me see. Last one? This one? Is this the one? No, it's different for everyone because the questions are randomized. Can I open your quiz? Is that okay? I mean, everybody's gonna see it, but like, are you okay with it if I open it? No? Okay. Give me a moment then. It was number 9 on yours, right? Am I correct? Okay, help me out here. Is it number 9 on yours? No, it's the last one on yours, on your quiz, right? The last question on your quiz. Is that correct? All right, give me a moment. By the way, I'm done class. Okay, so like if you guys don't have other questions, feel free to go. And thank you for sticking around for the semester. Wish you all the best for the finals. And don't forget to do your quiz today and your test next week. Okay? No class next week. You just study and then do the final exam. Okay? Let me just stop the recording.